Welcome back, guys. What is going on? Today is the first in a brand new series called Who Runs. So just taking a look at all the different kinds of people that go running. There's one thing I've learned from all the different races I've done, all the different kinds of people I've met running in the community. It's that there seems to be such a huge diverse range of people who actually run, and for all different kinds of reasons. So I just wanted to start highlighting a few of those people. They could be anybody, people you've heard of, people you've never heard of before. So first in our series today is Claire Maxted. I had the chance to interview her at the National Running Show this year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what she had to say.
So people often ask me how I got into running, and I say I've always ran. As a little kid, you kind of run in the playground, you play TIG, you run just to speed things up and to play, really. So I've always run, but I suppose if you want a sort of a consistent running club type scenario, I started running in about 2012. I did the Bob Graham round in 2013, so I had to sort of train for that. And after that, I joined a running club, and it's only after that I really would consider myself a runner, an actual runner, because that was when I started going consistently once a week. So I'd say I was probably, I don't even know how old I was in 2013, just late 20s, early 30s. Yes, it is really hard to keep the balance between your work life, your running, your training, your family. But I think you have to prioritize exercise. And I think that for me personally, if I can't take 1 hour every day, just 60 minutes per day to exercise in whatever format that may be, then I'm not living the life that I want to live. So I write it down in my diary. I religiously go to running club every Tuesday. I make myself do hills on a Thursday because my sister-in-law is doing hills on a Thursday. So I'm buddying up. I'm using it as an excuse to be social, and I'm just really prioritizing fitness, because if you don't do that hour per day, then you just start to lose it. And it's not only good for your physical health and your training, but it's really good for your mental health too. So it's not hard to prioritize it, really. That's a really interesting question. I had to have a think about this, because I'm a bit of an inspiration floozy, and I think the person who inspires me most is basically the last person that I interviewed or the last person that I talked to, because I'm interviewing elite athletes all the time. So I get really inspired really easily by, say, I'll chat to Emily Forsberg at a Sky race and she'll really inspire me. I'll talk to Kilian Jornet at the Pikes Peak Marathon or wherever, and he'll really inspire me. And then I'll talk to somebody who has 5 children and they work night shifts, or they're a nurse and they've just done their first 5K, and that really inspires me too. So I wouldn't say that just one single person inspires me in running. I'd say that it's just the last person I spoke to.
So you're finding inspiration from everywhere all the time, basically?
Yeah, I'm finding inspiration from everywhere all the time, and also I'm quite inspired by people who aren't runners as well. So I like to read a lot of biographies. I like to read about Richard Branson. I've read Alan Sugar's as well, because he just amuses me. And I've read people like John Cleese and David Attenborough, people like that who I really admire. And I take inspiration from their lives, even though they're not runners, just in the way that they're living their lives, and just success in I like to read about people who have been really successful but are really humble about it. So maybe discount Alan Sugar from that one, but but yeah, I like to read about people who have been really successful and but aren't necessarily runners, and then you can sort of steal their skills and transfer them to your world. Yeah, I am inspired by entrepreneurs because I really like to create things. So I like to start things afresh, things that aren't existing in the world. I like to create them. So that's why I created the YouTube channel, Wild Ginger Running, so that I can share my love of trail and ultra running and advice and inspiration to the world, really. Yeah. It's been really great. I'm really excited because obviously I co-founded and edited Trail Running magazine, and I did that for 7 years, and then I jumped off into this kind of sea of nothingness where I didn't know whether it would be successful or not. And so far, just counting, we've got about 8,000 subscribers. In a couple of months, it'll probably be 10,000 subscribers. And yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who's watching, because it's obviously working. And I'm here at the National Running Show, and I've got people coming up to me saying, oh, really loved your talk, or really love your gear reviews. Oh, it was great when you interviewed that athlete. Oh, I loved your race recce. I went and did that race because it was on your channel. And that's the reason I'm doing it. I'm doing it because of all those comments. I'm doing it because people are watching, and I just want to inspire as many people to get the same joy out of off-road running that I have. Ooh, that's a really good question. I think I'm learning important things about running all the time, but one of the best things that I've learned, one of the most revolutionary things that I've learned in the last couple of years actually, is in 2015 I did the Coastal Challenge in Costa Rica, and it was a really, really hot race, and I got red hair, I burned really easily, and I didn't really enjoy the heat, if I'm totally honest. It was an absolutely amazing race. Go and do it. It's absolutely fantastic, but not if you don't like heat. So I was doing this crazy, crazy race, and my feet were really hurting because I got blisters. Seems to be the story of my life lately, and I got ill as well because obviously you're in a foreign country, and I was maybe drinking some water from streams that I shouldn't have, which was a bad idea. And so I got ill, and so I had this a really difficult decision to make as to whether I would complete, I think it was day 4 of a 6-day race. And my husband was there as well, and we chatted it over, and I suddenly realized that nobody cares if I finish a race or not. I don't have to do anything. I mean, it's great if you can finish it and get that medal, but if you're going to be in a lot of pain and really miserable and really not enjoying it, then you don't actually have to finish the race. And that was a really difficult decision for me, because I felt like a lot of pressure to always complete and always be perfect and always be really hardcore because of being the editor of this magazine and trying to be an inspiration to people. But then I thought, no one really minds. Like, even the elite athletes don't complete races for all sorts of reasons. Like, they might get tired or go too fast in the start, or they might have an injury. And so that was the first time I DNF'd, did not finish. And since then, I also DNF'd on the Cape Wrath Ultra, and that time was a lot easier to make that decision, and it felt really liberating actually to go, actually, what do I want from my running? Do I want to be in pain and miserable and not being able to look at the view because I'm so much in pain from my feet? Or do I just want to do half marathons for a couple of hours and really enjoy it, and then have a cup of tea and have a piece of cake? So I think for me, that over the last couple of years, that's been my biggest learning about running, is that you don't have to kill yourself. It's not always about going further or faster. It's about enjoying it more and seeing new places and connecting with amazing, amazing people. I would quite like to do the UTMB course over, say, 6 or 7 days, like take a week, really take it in, stay at all the huts, take photos, take some film. I'd love to do that over about a week or so, but I think that would still be really tough. It's still 20 miles average a day with about 2,000 meters of ascent. So I don't know if that will ever happen. Maybe just some running in Chamonix will happen. But I've always wanted to see what all the fuss is about with the UTMB. I can't quite understand why anyone would want to do it so quickly and through the night as well, so they can't see the views. That's all about the challenge, obviously. So that's a trip that I'd like to do. I think it's more for me, rather than races, it's about going to places and running in them. So I'd really love to do the GR20. Maybe that's more of a hike than a run actually, because it's a lot of scrambling. I'd love to also run in Norway. I'd love to run in Iceland as well. I'd love to go there. So yeah, all the cold places I'd like to go to. Which doesn't make any sense, because the next race I'm going to do is in Israel. I'm going to run the Dead Sea half marathon, and that's going to be super hot. So, but I'm only doing a half marathon, so I'm sure I can stomach 2 hours in the heat. Yeah, I'll take a good hat. Yeah, take my wild ginger running bubble hat. That'll sort me out. But favourite book, there's so many. I really like, there's some really good books about injuries, like Running Free of Injuries by Paul Hoberer. There's The Runner's Cookbook by Anita Bean. There's Run Smart by John Brewer. Those are the 3 go-to books that I recommend on any runner's bookshelf, and they're very practical, helpful books. For sheer inspiration, Scott Jurek's book North is really, really amazing. I love that book. It's all about his journey along the Appalachian Trail, setting the record, and the sheer pain involved in that. It's incredible what he did. 56 days or so on that trail, running kind of 50 miles a day. I don't know how he did it. He was falling asleep on the move and breaking walking poles and almost falling asleep off cliffs and things. So that's a really good book. But I think, Feet in the Clouds is a really good book as well by Richard Asquith. That's what got me into doing the Bob Graham round. But if I had to recommend one book over all of the others, it's gotta be Vassos Alexander's Don't Stop Me Now. And that's about his journey into trail and ultra and fell running. And he interviewed me in the book as well, so I'm in there, so that's a really good reason for everyone to read it.
It's the only reason.
Yeah, it's a really inspiring book. And the thing I really like about Vassos is that he's not an elite runner by any stretch of the imagination. He just really loves it, and he's really good at conveying that to people, both in book form. He did his talk here at the National Running Show yesterday, and it was great, and people were really enthused by that. And if he can't get anyone into trail running, then I don't think anyone else has got a chance. Walking is massively underrated. So go for a walk first of all. So just get into the habit of twice a week going for a half an hour walk. And then when you've got that in as a habit in your diary, then you can introduce running. So then you can just jog for maybe 30 seconds and then walk for say 2 minutes, and then jog for another 30 seconds, and then just gradually build up to 1 minute, 1.5, 2, etc. A bit like that Couch to 5K app. I really recommend doing something along those lines. And that's how you do it. We didn't all start off running a marathon. You come to these shows, people have run across Africa, people are running the length of Kyrgyzstan. They didn't start off just waking up one morning and going, oh, I'll run a marathon, I'll run across Kyrgyzstan. They built up gradually, and that's what you have to do as well. You have to just get out there, put your shoes on, run for 30 seconds, jog for a minute, walk for a minute, and eventually you'll get there. Just keep plugging away at it. No.
Oh, well, there you go.
No,
That's
no, music and running is a really interesting one because I'm a really musical person. I'm in a choir, I play the flute, I love music, I've got a really eclectic taste in music, and I love folk music, like anything from folk music to Ellie Goulding to like rock music from the 70s, Led Zeppelin, etc. I love loads of music, but I never listen to it on the run, and that's more about me and technology than me and music. I can't be bothered to find headphones and then thread them through me and then put them in my ears and then for them to not fall out of my ears. I can't be bothered with all the faff. All I want to do when I go for a run is put my watch on so I can put it on Strava, put my phone in my pocket in case I want to take a photo, and then I'm just off. And I like to have that sort of space inside my head to think about things, listen to the birds, listen out for any traffic if you've got to cross a road maybe. And all the times that I have managed to run with music, I felt a bit detached from the world. And when I'm at races as well, and I'm sort of cheering for people, and they're running past with headphones on and they ignore you, I just find that really, really strange. Like you want to run to be together with people and in that atmosphere, and so I don't generally run with music at all. But I totally understand if people want to go on a long run and that's what's going to keep them going, then yeah, go for the music. And I have done that before, but I'm not very good at getting a playlist together. I'd rather just turn on the radio and see what happens. Yeah, maybe I should try running with music. Yeah, I think I just like the birds. Yeah, I like the birds and stuff, yeah. Yeah, so Wild Ginger Running is a YouTube channel all about trail and ultra running. So it's loads and loads of advice and inspiration from elite athletes, coaches, experts in nutrition and training, and it's got basically everything that you need as a beginner off-road runner to just make your life easier. So you can find out about anything on there, and the great thing is you can ask me questions as well. So I do 2 videos a week. On Mondays at 5 p.m, a video will come out. It's either a Q&A of questions that I've gathered from your comments on YouTube, or there'll be a deep dive into a key training topic like technique or nutrition maybe, or advice on running really long distance races, things like that. And then on Wednesday, I do a live chat. So it's either a live gear chat, so I'm testing like backpacks or running poles, anything that you can think of to do with running, or I'll do a chat with an elite athlete or a coach or an expert. So for example, I've got Damien Hall coming on this Wednesday to talk about the UTMB. So that's live on a Wednesday. It's at 8:30 p.m. and it runs for about an hour usually. So you can join me and you can write comments in the live chat, and I'll try to ask your questions to the expert. Or if I'm looking at a piece of gear, I'll try to answer your question and actually demonstrate it with that piece of gear. So that's 2 videos a week, and then sometimes on a Friday there's a bonus video that comes out. So it could be like a promotional film about the National Running Show, for example, or just something that didn't quite fit in elsewhere, or maybe a race movie or something like that on a Friday. And sometimes on the weekend I also go live. I just did a live broadcast here of Paula Radcliffe at the National Running Show Sunday morning, so you can check that out if you didn't get the chance to watch it live. So there's tons of stuff happening. It's a really active channel, and I think the thing I like most about it is the engagement with all of you guys. So keep posting your comments on YouTube, and I will see you out there on the trails.
So that was Claire from Wild Ginger Running. Lots of really useful tips and also very interesting information about herself and her journey on running as well. That was the first in a series of Who Runs. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you go to Claire's channel, subscribe. There's lots of great info and content on there, and she does upload regularly, so you're bound to find it interesting and useful. I'll see you very, very soon. I have another Who Runs episode coming out very shortly, so keep an eye out for that. Until next time, guys, stay happy.